Welcome to another Coffee with Samso, where we speak to mining companies, exploration companies, mining identities about the journey and the stories that they have. Today, I've got 27 Co here with Ian Warland, who's the CEO of the company. I think it's a really interesting story. They've got several projects, small in its stature, but in a very prospective area. A lot of good smoke. Ian, welcome. Thanks for giving us time. Maybe just give us an intro about yourself and let's hear the story.
Okay, thanks, Noel. Look, it's really great to be here. My first time on Samso, so I'm quite excited. So a little bit about me. I'm a geologist of over 25 years. I've worked internationally and in Australia during that time in mining companies and exploration companies. My passion is really for exploration. So I'm really excited to be a hands-on CEO with 27 Co. And like you said, we do have some very exciting projects in our company.
Yeah, I'm looking at your presentation. Obviously, I had a look at you guys a while ago, and you had the Rover Project, but this Mount Demo one, it's actually very interesting. Nice, really good, solid historical results. Just give us a good sort of overview of why you guys think this is a decent project.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're strategically, TSC is focused on WA gold. So our board took a decision last year that, gold is what we wanted to focus on. Like you said, we've got the Rover Project, which I'll talk a bit about later, near Sandstone. But just about 200 kilometres away from the Rover Project, we recently acquired the Mount Dimer Project. Now, we've been looking for projects for some time, and in this market, it's actually hard to find good gold projects because they've all been snapped up, but we're really excited about the Mount Dimer Project. It's about 200 kilometres to the north of Southern Cross. It's on a greenstone belt. It's an area that hasn't had any attention really for the last 25 years. The Mount Dimer itself, the project is made up of 2 tenements. We have significantly a mining lease where there is currently an old open cut that was mined in the mid-90s. And just next to that mining lease, we have an exploration license as well. So there's plenty of potential on that mining lease, but also on the exploration license. So what was mined at Mount Dimer in about the early 90s to the mid-90s was around 8,500 ounces of gold in an open cut that's about 200 metres long, 50 metres deep and 100 metres wide. And we believe that there's a lot of gold potential still there to be had, because really this project hasn't been looked at since, the gold price was 500 Australian an ounce. So now at $2,500 an ounce, it's a really exciting proposition.
In where you guys are, I remember looking at several projects in sort of Coolgardie area, Southern Cross. I mean, the fact that there was previous mining tells me there's mineralization. I can see in your long section, it looks like it's extending further south, I guess, or down plunge, I should say. I mean, let's face it. Whether it extends to in an economic sense, it's yet to be told by when you guys start drilling.
Yes.
Is that what you guys feel, the optimism in sort of that kind of exploration model?
Oh, for sure. Like when we look at the historic records from the mid-90s for that open cut, they recognised that there was a southerly plunging shoot of gold mineralisation. And our work, so we've taken their database that was available and we've put that into a 3D model. Now, there's about 120 old drill holes. Now, not all of those, would meet today's drill compliance standards. So, but we can use that data to basically model where we think the mineralisation is. And when you look at that long section, which I believe the viewers will be able to see, there's intercepts underneath the pit, for instance, like 6 metres at 10 grams and 5 metres at 15. So some fairly wide, high-grade intersections of gold plunging to the south. So already we know where we need to go follow up with the drilling. So the initial drilling that we do will be to confirm if that mineralisation is there, and then really try to extend that mineralisation down plunge.
It's interesting. You did mention that, looking at gold projects, from a company view, that, and you obviously a lot have been snapped up in the sense, but this one's is, I think this is one of the better ones. Let me rephrase it. It's one of those ones that's got good smoke, and there was a pit there. They've mined gold there before. How did you guys get this, in a sense? Was it all locked up privately over the years since the 90s, like you said?
That's right. Well, there's, I guess, two parts to what you're asking there. It's a fairly well-trodden path these days, going back to old mine sites, because, the best place to look for mineralisation is where there already has been proven to be mineralisation. So you look at Spectrum Metals, and, there's been other old open cuts that have been followed up with some success and resources discovered. So it's a good model to look for these old mines and have another look at them. Now, this one had been tied up, as you say, in private hands for the best part of the last 20 years. And we've got, quite an extensive network of people that we work with in WA that, and so we've been looking for opportunities, and we've actually assessed many opportunities over the last 12 months. So even though we do have a good project at Rover, it's always good to be on the lookout for new projects as well, to add that to your portfolio, to maximise your potential to make discoveries and add value for your shareholders. So as part of our network, they put us in touch with a private company that held these assets, and we were able to get an option over those assets to do a due diligence period. And after the due diligence period, we acquired that private company and the assets.
I know, when obviously preparing for this this conversation, I looked at where you guys are. You're basically sort of to your west. You've got the Marda and the Southern Cross, and we all know that they're very, very mineralized, fairly well endowed. Then to your east, you've got the Eastern Goldfields, Coolgardie. It doesn't seem to be a lot of action in here, but obviously the fact that you've got historical intercepts and by the looks of it, pretty decent ones, there is a cooking mechanism there. I kind of like this kind of things, because obviously, if we step back 6 months ago, there wasn't a real excitement in the industry. But now, money is easy to get. There's lots of money being put into the ground, and discoveries is going to be achieved, as we always said that it would be done if we put more money into the ground. I don't know. I'm asking, do you think it's a consistent way of thinking, if that you've got a new sort of place or new greenstone belt, a bit like the sort of the Goldroyd story 20 years ago, when people didn't think it was so endowed? Could this be sort of a sliver of greenstone, like how Boddington became such a great mine because someone decided to achieve, or the gold in the wheat belt? Could this be something in that same basket, do you think?
Well, yeah, sure, Noel. I mean, I guess the Eastern Goldfields has always got the bulk of the attention and exploration dollars over the last 2 or 3 decades. And the sort of central Yilgarn area where we are, it's been a bit overlooked, I believe. So wherever you have, greenstones and shear zones, it's a well-known model for gold mineralisation. We have all the ingredients here that we need, and it really does need a thorough, systematic approach to the exploration. So the ingredients are, we've got the right greenstone belts, we've got shears like the Mount Diamond shear zone where gold mineralisation is known to occur, and it's underexplored. In my view, it's underexplored, and so there is a lot of potential to have a closer look, spend the money, and come up with some gold mineralisation. And a lot of the low-hanging fruit, I guess, was found in the early 90s and the mid-90s. The your near surface gold, but it hasn't been systematically explored for a very long time. So that's why we're also excited about our Yarraboo project, which is about 80 kilometres to the northwest of Mount Dimer. And it's near Ramelius's Marda project. So Ramelius have got over 250,000 ounces of gold in resources up in that part of the world. And our Yarraboo project there hasn't had a lot of exploration. We know that on the Clampton shear zone, or the Clampton fault on our project at Yarraboo, there is gold mineralisation, and old RAB drilling there, they've found 1 metre at 1 gram, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does tell you that there's gold along a major fault zone in a greenstone belt without a lot of exploration done. So we need to systematically go in there, and that gives us some upside potential for this whole Mount Dimer project as well.
Okay. And how about your Rover project? I mean, I've seen some of the intercepts you have. They're not spectacular results, but what I like about it is the amount of the length of intercepts that you're getting. It tells me you've got a system there. You may not have found the mother lode, but I guess that's the part of the process of exploration. But I do think that this length of intercept does tell you that there is something cooking there.
I definitely know. Like we're very excited about Rover still, because if I take a step back, we've got 460 square kilometres of tenure at Rover. Now we've acquired that ground, most of that ground, just by applying for it over the last few years. So it hasn't cost us anything to get that ground. We've got 140 kilometres of greenstone belts there. So 2 parallel linear greenstone belts. There's the Alara shear zone that goes up the Maynard Hills greenstone belt. Now, what we have done is we've discovered gold at surface and near surface at Harmonic and Creasy 1 along that Alara shear zone. So we know there's the gold mineralisation system is working up there. And you're right, we haven't quite found the mother lode, but we've got some very extensive intercepts like at Harmonic. There's a body of gold mineralisation there that extends for around 200 metres from surface. We've got intercepts like 18 metres at 1 gram from 5 metres deep, 17 metres at 1 gram from surface. And that includes some higher grade, such as 3 metres at 5 grams or 1 metre at 11 grams. So there's a coherent body of gold at Harmonic from surface, and we haven't closed that off yet. Similarly, at Creasy 1, which is just 400 metres south of Harmonic, we've found pods of mineralisation along this Alara shear zone for at least 1.5 kilometres. And, we've got intercepts there, again, like 1 metre at 50 grams per tonne, 15 metres at 3 grams. So there's gold mineralisation there. We do need to do more work to sort of prove that up. We haven't quite cracked the code there, I think, but we with every drilling program that we do, we're getting more information and we're understanding the mineralisation better. And just lastly, what I want to say about the Rover project, like I said, we've got 140 kilometres of greenstone belts there. We're just completing a soil geochemistry program to the north of Harmonic on the continuation of the Alara shear zone. So hopefully this soil geochem will come up with more gold anomalies that we can test at a later date. So I think there's again, this area is underexplored. There is mineralisation there. It's a really good place to be exploring.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, just looking at your results there on your presentation, I mean, you're getting some high grade, 1 metres at 6 grams, 7 grams, and you're getting good, nice, lengthy intercepts. That's exciting for exploration. Obviously, you've got a big strike length there, so it's going to take you guys a bit of time to try and figure things out, that's what happens, right, in exploration.
Well, you're right. That's what happens. Some of these projects take, a few years to really reveal themselves. But having said that, we've been very busy at Mount Rover. We've had 4 drilling programs in the last 12 months. We've done geophysics and geochemistry. we've delivered some really promising results out of the Rover project in that last 12 months. And we want to maintain the momentum on all our projects, especially Mount Dimer project, our new Mount Dimer project.
Actually, with your Mount Dimer, there was a point I wanted to raise. I noticed that they look like they did some heap leaching in the past. Is that something that you guys could entertain? I mean, obviously, the margins, if you start talking heap leaching, is a lot lower. And in the goldfields in historical times, that was one of the methods that people looked at. Is that something that you guys are looking at or thinking about, I should say?
Well, yeah, it's early days, and look, everything is still on the table. So if we got an oxide resource, then that could be amenable to heap leaching. We'd definitely look at that option because, like you said, it is a lower cost option. Generally, there are old heap leach pads there. We've done a little bit of work recently. We just made an announcement today where there's an old tailings dam there that we did some preliminary sampling of the surface, and on average, out of the 12 samples, we got around 0.5 gram gold. So we want to do a bit more work on that tailings dam to see how much material we've got there, what sort of grade it is it amenable to processing and getting the gold out of that cost effectively. Similarly, with the old heap leach pads, we've done a little bit of sampling there, and we got on average around 0.5 grams per tonne gold. And so again, we'll be looking at that more closely to see if we can get some early cash flow from those opportunities. That's not our main game, of course, the tailings and the heap leach, but the main game, of course, is to find resources in and around the old Mount Dimer pit. And once we've done that, we'll be looking at the best option to treat that material, whether it's on site or toll treated off site.
I guess going forward, I mean, the gold price is going to be your friend in the sense that if you looked at, even those opportunities to just get a bit of self-funding capital into the company, I think in these days that's probably more feasible than say maybe in the past when pricing was the margins a lot tighter. Going forward, I mean, what's the sort of the time news flow in the next 12 years? 12 months to 24 months. What are you guys thinking that the path will be in the sense of exploration strategies?
Yeah, sure. Well, we need to maximise this new opportunity that we have at Mount Dimer. So, we've just recently done the drone survey and resurveyed the whole Mount Dimer open pit and all the facilities on site. We've resurveyed a lot of the old drill hole collars. So that's all now going into a 3D model. And that way we can best model where we think the mineralisation is. And then we can optimise our drilling to confirm and extend that mineralisation at Mount Dimer. So we've already got approvals in for drilling to be done there. So we want to get it on the ground as quick as possible to start our inaugural drilling program at Mount Dimer and see, what have we actually got under the pit and can we extend this mineralisation. So that's happening in the next, a little while. We just wait for the approvals to come through. At the same time, we'll be starting exploration on our other exploration licenses near Mount Dimer, including the Yabu project, where we'll do some early stage exploration, geochemistry, mapping and sampling, generate drill targets for testing over the next 12 months. Similarly, at Rover, we'll continue some focus there where we have got a number of targets lined up for drill testing during the next 12 months as well. So there's going to be a lot of news flow over the next few months and over the next 12 months in general. And we're really excited that we'll be able to get some great results for our shareholders.
This comes to moment now, Ian, where I like to give you that opportunity for a couple of minutes to sell your soul and have the best pitch to the viewers. Why buy 27 Co?
Yeah, well, thanks, Noel. Why buy 27 Co? Look, there's a number of reasons. We've got exciting new gold projects in WA. That's where you want to be if you're looking for gold projects. We've got year-round news flow. We've got potential scale in all our projects at Rover. So there's potential there for a greenfields discovery. Mount Dimer mining lease, there's potential there for near-term cash flow and a resource. We're focused on copper and gold. We've got an experienced management team with a proven track record of success. And really, we've got a modest market cap. So at the moment, our market cap is around that sort of $12 million. We're really leveraged to exploration success. So if you look at companies, I guess like just to north of Dreadnought Resources, for instance, they've got a market cap around $50 million. They're along that Alara shear zone, the same as us. 12 months ago, they were around $10 million. So they've had a significant re-rating with some exploration success. And I think, that's something for us to emulate. With some exploration success, we could be re-rated and up into that, a much higher market cap with a discovery. So that's really why, people should be investing in TSC. The other thing is, we've got a great MEI credit at the moment. So we've got a $1 million allocation for investors, which is always a nice cherry on top, I think, for investors to get involved in exploration companies.
I think for viewers, again, thinking about what's happening in the market, I think the leverage of exploration is probably a bit more significantly on the upside now. I think there's lots of funding going into the ground and the market's there. The gold pricing is favorable. Believe what some people say, it'll be 3,000. But mate, even if we hang around today's price, I think most companies, if not all miners, will be making lots of money at the margin that's there already. Look, viewers, feel free to send us questions. I'm sure Ian will take some questions if he's, to contact the company, continue to sort of follow the journey. Ian, I think, look, I love the story. I think, an exploration tragic like myself, I think the market has been, wanting this kind of opportunity in terms of funding to go forward for a very long time. And a project like yourself, I think, look, not saying that you will find a mother lode, but definitely the smokes there very encouraging to pursue this topic. And that down plunge look will be really good once you guys start drilling and we can see some fruits, hopefully. Again, thank you for giving me time. I hope we can continue to follow your journey. And look, viewers, as they say, continue to press that like button and subscribe to us and give us comments. It's always good to have comments. Look, thank you, Ian. Appreciate it. And let's hope we can continue following the journey.
Well, thank you, Noel. It's always great to talk about the project. The company's really excited about it. We're well funded and it's going to be a really busy and hopefully successful 12 months for TSC.
All right, great. Thank you.